Okie dokie boys and girls, it is day 5 of calisthenics endurance and today we have a push day, although we will start by pushing a little bit on the legs. It's gonna be a mixed day with some, like only 3 sets, not a lot, but some strength work for the legs, to keep or to support my running, and then we can move on to push-ups, which is gonna be endurance based obviously. But when it comes to these endurance challenges, well, I expected that it wouldn't be easy and that exhaustion would slowly start piling up, but I didn't expect it to happen all of a sudden, from day 4 to day 5, just like that overnight. So yesterday I was completely fine. This morning I went out for my run and all of a sudden my hip starts flaring up on the outside here. So I'm gonna have to be careful, and of course it's not good to train through injury, but at the same time, if from here tomorrow I can make sure that I keep running without aggravating this little ache, or like even run and have it go better, then basically I'm figuring out how I can stay injury free in the future. Because if I can heal an injury while running, certainly I can stay injury free while running in the future as well. So that's what I'm going to do. And in order to stay injury free in running, I feel like strength exercises are important too. So I have the advantage, I think it's an advantage, that I have done quite a lot of strength training before I started seriously running. But now in the future, or from now on basically, these exercises are also going to be more tailored towards keeping my body healthy for long distances throughout the weeks. But anyway, the first set, or 3 sets basically, of these workouts are going to be, like I mentioned, some squats. I'm going to do the Bulgarian squat, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the dumbbell in one side, because like I mentioned, I want to tailor this exercise for running. And in running, you're using obviously your quadriceps, your hamstrings, but also your glutes. And at the moment, that's where I'm having a bit of pain, in the side of my leg. So I feel like I have to make it stronger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Bulgarian squats, where I hold the dumbbell on the opposite side of my standing leg in front, right? And that way I have to kind of keep my body balanced by activating my glutes. So you'll see how it looks like, what it looks like in a second. But these exercises are like really powerful rehab and prehab exercises to keep running. So let's go. Let's see what happens, and then we can move on to push-ups. Alright, interesting. By holding the dumbbell on one side, it actually turns into like a completely different movement almost. I feel it in the side of my butt, so that's nice. Although I'm gonna lower the weight so that I can focus more on the movement itself. If I use these 22 kilos here, I naturally hold the dumbbell in front of my leg, but I feel like perhaps it should be on the side. So when you're trying something new, start with a bit of leeway, make the movement a bit easier, or use less weight, use less intensity, so that you can focus on how you have to execute it. And then once you know how to execute the movement, that's when you can go back to big boy weights. Nothing wrong with using big boy weights, but make sure you know how to use them. Okie dokie, so that's it for today's leg training, and if I do say so myself, it was not very intense. Now, I've only just started on the calisthenics endurance journey, and even for me, or I guess obviously for me, there is a lot of things that I don't know yet. And one of the questions that I often get is, well, how do I get started with training? And the answer is, well, you just do. Like, I also don't know all the answers. You don't know them either, but you find answers by trying things, and then either they are right and you can keep using them, or they're wrong, and then you figure out what was wrong and how you can improve upon it. So at the moment, I'm just doing a whole lot of searching around and trying to find out new things, you know. So for these leg days, I don't know how hard I should go on them, because at the moment I feel like this intensity will not allow me to maintain my strength, I guess, but also I don't want to push myself too hard so that I can still do the running. And those are just answers that I'm going to be, finding out along the way once I am, in the groove of running every day, 10 kilometers plus. That's when I'm going to find my answers. I'm going to find what I'm able to do in combination with the running. And it's the same for everything else as well, When I started these push-ups, there were a lot of questions on how I should train. Right now, I found out a bunch of stuff on how I can train these push-ups, but there are also a lot of questions left, So it's just a matter of, you have this cycle, right? You try something, right? And then you find out some answers, or you have a question, you try something, you find out the answers, you apply them, and then you try something new. And basically, you just repeat the cycle until you have all the answers you need, or all the knowledge you need. But guess what? As long as you keep training, you're gonna have new questions. You're always gonna, be able to learn something, which is also the good part, right? But that's just to say, there is no more perfect time to start than just right now. You don't have to wait until the New Year's. You don't have to wait until any specific day. Just get started, and then from there you will, gradually find your way on how to keep training. That's what I'm trying to do as well right now, especially with the running. I hope I'm gonna be finding a way on how I can heal the hip on the side, right? Strengthen it and continue going hard. But anyway, let's do some push-ups. I found out during the warm-up set that I'm able to do the Japanese push-ups again without any pain, although they are feeling rusty, obviously, because I haven't done them in a while. But that is just to say, I'm gonna be doing them again. And well, if I'm gonna be doing the Japanese push-ups, I might as well start where I left off. I'm gonna be trying to see if I can still do 100 push-ups in a row, and then if all goes well, attempt set number 2. But yeah, let's go. Alright, my shoulders are actually spasming right now, and my chest is fired up, but PR for set number 2 is 60. I'm gonna beat it today because Ultra Instinct is playing. 70. 73. What the? I'm gonna catch my breath. Okay, so you know you had a good sit when afterwards you take a quick rest, you go sit down, and you almost instantly fall asleep. So I had to fight to wake back up, but basically I'm gonna do the remainder of the push-ups because, believe it or not, I might have gone hard on the push-ups. My chest is pumped as hell, but that doesn't mean that today's workout is done, because if you know, the minimum standard for a push-up workout is 500 reps. So what I'm gonna do is, well, I only need 177 more, I guess. I'm just gonna do 20 sets of 20 in emom style, so every minute on the minute, one set. And basically, this is just gonna allow me to build some volume. It's not as intense as I could go, I believe. So what I'm gonna try and do is focus a bit more on the form while I'm doing the reps, which is to say, I'm still gonna be hanging down my hips because I kind of retract my shoulders to open up my chest. But what I am gonna try and focus on is to really extend the arms completely on every rep. So let's go. Alright, so that's it for today's training, and well, I have a sick chest pump right now, so very happy with how that training went, although I have to be honest, it wasn't an easy one, The training itself wasn't easy, I wasn't looking forward to it, but not only that, the run as well was way tougher than expected, because, well, 4 days, not a single issue in the pain department, and then suddenly the hip starts flaring up, and well, I guess whenever you get started on something, you're gonna run into issues, It doesn't matter if you're gonna start with your training on January 1st, or 2 days before, or 5 months after, you're gonna run into issues, because as long as you're like just thinking about training and not moving to action, just keeping things in theory, you might be thinking that you're getting smarter and learning stuff, but in reality, you have to apply those things to see if they actually work for you, Your body has this amazing ability to adapt, but it's only going to adapt if you actually expose it to something. So get started. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Don't expect smooth sailing. If everything goes well, that's great. That's a privilege. Be thankful, but don't expect it to happen, It's not like when nothing happens, then you're just having luck. You're not having bad luck when you run into an issue. That's to be expected. That's normal. It's not bad luck. It happens, right? So when you get in those situations, learn how you can resolve them. How should you get stronger? How should you go around the issue? But don't let the issue stop it, Don't expect smooth sailing. And well, if you start and you have you have issues, right? You have trouble sailing on the wild sea. If you can sail, like if you can figure out in that moment how to sail on the wild sea, so to speak, well, whenever afterwards you do have smooth sailing, it's gonna be like so much easier, right? So that's basically what I wanted to mention there. I'm gonna have to do some sailing on a rough sea as well in the coming days, I expect, but let's get through it, you know. So yeah, that's it for today's training. Quite happy with how it went, you know, especially because I got back to Japanese push-ups, but now I'm just gonna have some food and I'll see you tomorrow for, what is it gonna be tomorrow? I think another skill day. So let's go.